Yeah, I wanted to go over the first exercise in preparation for the first project. And the preparation is creating a project system or a project folder. But before we get into that, I want you to understand the importance of a project. And what we will do is we'll do a little bit of research. We'll look up and find out what people have to say about what a Maya project is and is good for. And then we'll go into the discussion board in Blackboard and have a dialogue. And if the discussion board hasn't been made available yet, we'll just create a Google Doc and we'll do our work inside there. We'll do our discussion board there on the topic. So what we'll each do is make a statement about what our belief is, what a project folder is and what it's good for. We'll make a statement and we'll look at what other people wrote, and we won't necessarily argue. That's just the term, argue. It's conversation. We'll ask questions of each other's descriptions and understandings, and maybe help everyone to understand what exactly it is that a project is and is good for. Although before I get to that, I wanted to cover one additional thing, and that's the software and resources on where to get the Maya software. So what I did is I went to the Autodesk site here at student, so s.autodesk.com, and then you need to create an account, and once you've created an account you can sign in. And in order to sign in, I will put in my information and click sign in. So I get right in there, and I can go right to get free software and choose. So there's all kinds of free software. You can see this goes on and on. But what we want to do is look for Maya, and then we'll select the version that we're going to use for this class. So you could get the latest, but we're actually using 2.14, so let's stick with 2.14. And assuming you've got a computer that's got 64-bit, and you'll want to copy this information here, what I'll do is just copy it. Whoa, not a phone number. I can just copy it, and maybe I'll stick it in my pocket. So it's going to save it in my pocket. So then I'll install it now. Actually, if you do use the drop down, let me see if I can pull this up a little bit here. And consider doing the browser download. And what that does is it'll place it, it'll download it. And then if you're doing this at school, for example, you'll have it to then put on a flash drive and take it home and install on your computer. If you don't have fast internet there, this is a great way of doing it. So again, let's look at those options. There's install now or download, and for some reason I don't know the difference between the download now and browser, but the browser one, I believe, it's the one that seems to work as I'm showing you now. So once it's downloaded, I'll install it, and then it'll ask for, during the install process, it'll ask for these two numbers. So you can just I put them in a text file or leave this open. Again, if you're going to do this at home, then you might want to email this to yourself, copy that information. I believe you can just come back to this site and you'll find this same information always here for you. And I'm going to give this a name. And save it. And then I can come back to that. So, because I'm going to install it, because I've actually got 15 installed on my computer, but I'm going to downgrade to this other version. Okay, back to what is a project folder. So I'm going to start right now because I've already got my 15 opened here. Loaded, and then on my system. A couple things that just happened. I loaded Maya and it went full screen. I've got a really large monitor here. But also, there's always a window that pops up. This output window here. When it does, just minimize it. Don't close it. Just minimize it. And then you can work away inside of Maya. And what we want to do here is take a peek at the project, how to set and do a project. And by the way, you can find all this on a good YouTube, how to set or create a project, what a project's about. But I want you to do that as your research. So for right now, what I'm going to do is quickly show you how to set a project or create a project. So if you're already working on something and you just need to reestablish your project, you would elect to use the set project. But I'm going to actually create a new project by clicking here to create that new project. Now, I have this project that I created just a few moments ago, and I'm calling it DB for Dropbox project. And on my computer, on my H, in a drive called Drive Dropbox, I have a folder called Databases. Inside there, I've created this. So what I can do is go and find this same project on another computer if it has Dropbox. And this is something that we were talking about in the first class. So you could place things to easily download or retrieve. So anyways, this is a project that I created already, and I simply clicked accept. If I were making a new project, I would click here and see there's a new project and where it's going to place it. And these are all the subfolders. And then I would simply say accept, and I now have a new project created on my system. So if I wanted to go back to, if I wanted to set a project, I go to set project and it says where on the computer would you like to set projects. So everybody's, well actually the two computer types that we work with currently are Mac and PC. And on the PC, if I go to Documents and then Maya and then Projects, this is the default location that Maya has. So this is the default folder. But what I did was I created a new folder elsewhere on my computer. And where was it? The H drive. In the drive folder, Dropbox. So here's my Dropbox, all my Dropbox. And then in databases I have several, but this is the new one I created. So I just set the project by finding it and then choosing set. So now if I were to save this, it would save automatically into that new project folder. And that's how you quickly create and set a project folder. Okay, so before you go ahead and actually create, set, do your project, what I'd like you to do is a little research and answer these questions, and they will be posted in the discussion board we've determined. What are the steps necessary to create a project on your desktop? What are the steps necessary to create a project in the system default project location in Maya? What is necessary to set a project to the default location in Maya? What is the difference between set and make project? Okay, so those are the questions I believe I've answered in the short video I gave you, and I'm looking for your comments in the discussion board.